and welcome back to our channel on this beautiful, bright day. We are so thrilled to have you here with us as we dive deep into the latest, heart-wrenching drama unfolding in Genoa City. Grab a warm cup of coffee, settle into your favorite spot, and let's unravel the intense emotions and shocking twists that are keeping us all completely captivated. Thinking about the Winters family right now, it is just profoundly heartbreaking, isn't it? Malcolm Winters, lying there in that sterile hospital bed, his life hanging by the thinnest, most fragile of threads, aplastic anemia is an absolute nightmare. The sheer, suffocating desperation that has been radiating from Lily Winters. You can almost feel it pressing down on your own chest, making it hard to breathe. She has been running on fumes for days, searching for a miracle, praying to a universe that seemed completely indifferent to her agonizing pain, watching her pace those hospital floors. It makes you wonder just how much a human heart can take before it simply gives out and shatters into pieces. And then, out of nowhere, a beacon of hope emerges from the darkness. Cain Ashby, Cain. The man who has broken Lily's heart more times than we can even count. The man responsible for so many of her past tears. Yet somehow, in this darkest hour, he is the one who steps up. When the news broke that Cain is a perfect bone marrow match for Malcolm. The sheer, staggering relief that washed over Lily was entirely palpable. You could practically see the crushing physical weight lifting off her shoulders in real time. She burst into tears, and honestly, who wouldn't? It is that overwhelming, dizzying realization that the father she loves so deeply is actually going to survive. It is a miracle. A pure, unadulterated medical miracle wrapped in the most complicated emotional package imaginable. Let us just pause and picture that hospital hallway for a moment. Really visualize it. The harsh, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. The sharp, clinical smell of antiseptic. The quiet, rhythmic hum of medical machines echoing in the background. Lily is standing there, her eyes red and swollen from countless sleepless nights of crying, and Cain delivers the news. "I am a match." Those were simple words. They changed the entire trajectory of their lives. Lily's reaction is just so incredibly raw, so deeply human. She doesn't care about the past in that fleeting moment. She doesn't care about the betrayals, the painful lies, the messy divorce. All she sees is the man who holds the key to saving her father's life. It is a beautiful, overwhelmingly complicated moment of pure, unfiltered gratitude. And Cain, looking at him standing there, offering his own body to save Malcolm, you really have to wonder what is going through his mind. Is this his ultimate path to redemption? Is this a desperate, unspoken plea for Lily's forgiveness? Or is it simply a man doing the right, honorable thing for a family he once considered his own flesh and blood? He seems so incredibly stoic, so quietly resolved in his decision. He isn't asking for a grand parade. He isn't demanding Lily's renewed love or affection in return. He just sees a desperate, terrified woman and a dying man, and he offers his own biology to fix it. It actually makes you feel a profound twinge of sympathy for him, despite everything he has done in the past. Maybe, just maybe, he really has evolved into a better man. But then, just as we allow ourselves to breathe a sigh of relief, the atmosphere violently shifts. The air in that hospital hallway suddenly turns ice cold, thick with an undeniable tension. Devon Winters enters the picture. Devon, oh, Devon, what on earth is happening to him? He has been spiraling out of control for weeks, completely consumed by this blinding, toxic rage over Mariah's plea deal, and now, that terrifying darkness is bleeding into every single aspect of his life. He looks at Cain, and instead of seeing a selfless savior, he sees a parasite. He sees a cunning manipulator. The intense paranoia radiating from Devon is genuinely terrifying to witness. You can literally see the gears turning in Devon's head, grinding with suspicion and malice. He simply cannot fathom, not even for a second, that Cain is doing this out of the goodness of his heart. What does he expect from you? Devon asks Lily, his voice dripping with venom, that question. It is like a brutal slap to the face. Here is Lily, experiencing the happiest, most relieving moment of her recent life, and Devon just mercilessly stomps all over it with his heavy, cynical boots. He is entirely convinced that Cain is using Malcolm's impending death as a sick, twisted bargaining chip to manipulate his way back into Lily's bed, into her life. It is a sickening thought, and the fact that Devon genuinely believes it shows just how incredibly far gone he really is. Let's really take a moment to analyze Devon's psychological state right now, because it is deeply alarming. This is a man who is actively, recklessly incinerating his own marriage to Abby because he absolutely cannot let go of his obsessive hatred for Mariah. His unresolved trauma has morphed into a monstrous, unyielding vindictiveness that clouds his every judgment. He trusts absolutely no one. He sees dark, ulterior motives hiding in every shadow. When he looks at Kane Ashby, he doesn't see a life-saving bone marrow match. He sees a profound threat that needs to be aggressively neutralized. It is tragic, really, to watch a man who was once so full of love, empathy, and compassion turn into this paranoid, bitter, unrecognizable shell of a human being. The confrontation that erupts in that hospital hallway is nothing short of brutal. It is visceral. Lily is absolutely disgusted, and rightfully so. You can see the pure revulsion in her eyes as she looks at her brother, a man she used to trust above all others. If Kane is a match, I am thrilled, and what happens next doesn't matter. She tells him, her voice shaking with a potent mix of fury and sheer exhaustion. She bluntly points out that Devon's inability to see the priority saving Malcolm's life at all costs shows exactly where his twisted priorities truly lie. It is a devastating, heart-wrenching blow. The sibling bond, once so unbreakable and beautiful, is fracturing right before our eyes, shattering into a million irreparable pieces. And then Devon takes it a step further, a step that crosses every conceivable line of decency and familial loyalty. Because Devon's paranoia cannot just rest with angry verbal accusations, he actually goes behind Lily's back and makes a sinister, calculated move. He secretly hires a private investigator. Yes, you heard that right, and it is almost unbelievable. While Malcolm is literally fighting for his life, Devon is secretly paying a pie to dig deep into Kane's recent past in Las Vegas. He is desperately, obsessively hunting for dirt. He wants to find a dark secret, a hidden agenda, some twisted skeleton in Kane's closet that he can use to expose him and banish him from Genoa City forever. It is obsessive. It is deeply, profoundly sick. Why Vegas, though? What does Devon genuinely think he is going to find hiding in Sin City? We all know that Las Vegas is a notorious breeding ground for secrets, lies, and dangerous alliances, and Kane has certainly had his fair share of shady, questionable dealings in the past. Devon is banking everything on the desperate hope that Kane is involved in something illegal. Something so utterly unforgivable that Lily will be forced to turn her back on him, even if it means jeopardizing Malcolm's life-saving transplant. The sheer, blinding selfishness of Devon's actions is mind-boggling. He is willing to risk his own biological father's life just to prove a petty, vindictive point about Kane Ashby. Let that terrifying reality sink in for a moment. Poor Nate Hastings, standing there in the crossfire of this emotional war zone, trying desperately to mediate a conflict that is entirely beyond his control. Nate is a doctor. He operates on logic, on reason, on the fundamental goal of saving lives. He tries to calm Devon down, gently pointing out that Kane has gone completely out of his way to help their family in a time of desperate need, but Devon is completely deaf to reason. Nate must be looking at his cousins and wondering how their family legacy, Neil Winter's beautiful, unifying, loving legacy has devolved into this toxic, hateful, unrecognizable mess. Nate is entirely powerless to stop the bleeding, both literally with Malcolm's failing health and figuratively with Devon and Lily's dying relationship. Lily is now caught in the most agonizing, tear-inducing emotional tug-of-war imaginable. On one side, she has Kane, the man who caused her so much historical pain, but is now offering the ultimate, selfless sacrifice to save her father from the brink of death. The gratitude she feels is overwhelming, a deep, soul-binding debt that she knows she can never, ever truly repay. On the exact opposite side, she has Devon, her brother, her flesh and blood, the man who has stood by her side through everything until this very moment. Devon's relentless, cruel, unhinged attacks on Kane are pushing Lily to her absolute breaking point. She is physically exhausted, terrified for her father, and now she is being forced to fight a vicious war on a second front against her own brother. It truly makes you wonder, what happens if Devon actually finds something? What if this shady private investigator uncovers a truth that shatters this fragile, beautiful miracle? Devon is recklessly playing with fire, and he doesn't seem to care who gets burned in the process. His blinding hatred for Kane has completely obscured his view of reality. He is so utterly consumed by his arrogant need to be right, his twisted need to protect Lily from a perceived threat, that he is rapidly becoming the very monster he claims to be fighting against. It is a classic, devastating tragedy, a man destroying the village in order to save it, entirely unaware of the ashes he is leaving in his wake. The tension leading up to this transplant surgery is going to be absolutely unbearable to watch. Every single time Devon looks at Kane, you will feel the venom seeping through the screen. Every time Lily looks at Devon, you will see the profound heartbreak, the betrayal, and the deep-seated disgust. Will Lily's profound, life-altering gratitude for Kane be enough to withstand Devon's relentless, toxic, unhinged sabotage? Or will Devon's obsessive investigation uncover something that blows the Winters family apart forever, leaving nothing but ruin? One thing is for absolute certain. The hospital hallways of Genoa City have never felt so cold, so dangerous, and so fraught with intense emotional peril. We can only watch and wait, holding our breath, hoping that Malcolm survives not just his illness, but the catastrophic collateral damage of his own family's bitter war.